lipid protein that protects the virus so that the virus, like your skin, so that the virus don't fall apart. So your skin protects you. It's your biggest organ and it protects you. It keeps all of your cells and everything inside. It protects your inner self. It protects you. It is your vessel that holds your information. And the vessel that holds the information of the virus, well, the virus is wrapped around this lipid protein shells that protects it. And in the case of COVID-19, we already mentioned is RNA. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. So when we look at the COVID-19 through a microscope, right, it looks more like punctuations. Am I saying it right?
Protrusions.
Protrusions.
No punctuation. No protrusion.
No punctuations, but protrusions, right? It looks so they look more like protrusions instead of crowns. So those protrusions look for places on a person's cell to stick to. So the protrusions look for places on a person's cell to stick to. So if you get it, if you happen to come a contact, you physically with your eyes are not going to be able to see the viruses and bacteria and all those things. That's why you have a microscope. But if we come in contact with a lot of things every day, unfortunately, there's a lot more man-made things these days. But when it comes to it, it could get attached to your hands. That's why it's telling you what. That's why they are telling you to wash your hands. And sorry, let's see. Because what did I leave? Well, once a protein is deactivated, it does not find the person's cells. Since it has already been deactivated, the virus such as COVID-19 would not affect the person if it is deactivated because they cannot communicate with your cells, with a person's cells. So that's why we think about it as information, because the virus has to communicate with your cells. So for the virus to first become like an issue, it has to enter your body. It has to penetrate your membrane. So you could, that's why they tell you, like, don't touch your face. Membranes through your mouth, through your nose, and through your eyes. So that's why it's a good idea for people to wear masks. It doesn't have to be surgical masks from the hospital. This is just basically to stop you from literally touching your face, touching your nose, your mouth, your eyes. So when you have something covering this, even if you touch it, you're touching fabric, and of course, fabric or whatever material that is. So if it's fabric, make sure you clean it. So that's just for the purpose of you not touching your face. Sorry if I'm like rumbling. So let's see. So you're probably asking yourself like how to deactivate COVID-19. So as mentioned, you have to wash your hands with soap and water for 30 seconds. Some people say 20, I would say 30 seconds. What happens if you wash your hands with just water? Then you would do absolutely nothing. The virus will remain there. So if you wash your hands just with just water, the virus will remain there. If you use soap, that's when you deactivate the virus. You have to use soap and you have to use water, and this type of things take time. So you really like have to soap up your hands and do this for 30 seconds. Make sure you get some water, some soap. You know how to wash your hands. Do this for 30 seconds. Get in between your fingers, fingernails, and all of that. Back of the hand, front of the hand, all of that. Make sure you wash your hands, rinse out thoroughly so that you could deactivate it. So let's see. You're probably saying, how in the world soap and water going to deactivate a virus such as COVID-19? So while I look through my notes, let me see. Okay, so finally, sorry to the soap explanation as to why soap and water really do work to, if you do it correctly for 30 seconds and use water and soap to wash your hands. Why? It will get rid of viruses such as COVID-19, any other virus or bacteria that you may encounter. Because the soap functions as a virus annihilator. The soap has a double-sided molecules. One end of the molecule is attracted to water, and the other end of the molecule is attracted to fat. One end of the molecule is attracted to water. So we're talking about soap. One end of the molecule is attracted to water, and the other end of the molecule of the soap is attracted to fat. And that is important for you to keep in mind. One is attracted to water, one is attracted to fat. So viruses like COVID-19 contain protein and fat. Viruses such as COVID-19 contain protein and fat. So keep in mind what soap does, is attracted to water and fat. So since the virus contains protein and fat, the double-sided molecule pulls the oil apart. The double-sided molecule completely pulls and deactivates the virus. So we're thinking about this protein and this fat that is around the virus, and how the soap, since it's attracted to water and fat, and the virus COVID-19 has fat, is attracted to it almost like a magnet, right? It attracts to it and it starts to pull it apart. That's why it takes time for you to wash your hands. It starts to pull it apart, and after it pulls it apart, it is completely deactivated. Remember, like information, once it's deactivated, it cannot communicate with your cells. It is useless. It is not going to be able to do anything. And at that point, you just wash it down. The water will wash it down the drain because it has already been deactivated. It cannot communicate with your cells to go ahead, to go in and enter your membrane and use your DNA to it install its information to duplicate, to grow and do harm. We don't want that. We want it deactivated so we don't have to cure it. Prevention is always better than cure. So we deactivate it, it's useless. We don't have to worry about having to cure anything about or being infected with it at all. Okay, now that we know that COVID-19 has a layer of fat that is holding everything together, when it interacts with the soap, the fat gets broken down, pulled apart by the soap. As I mentioned, it pulls apart and completely deactivates and demolish, right? Demolish, am I saying it right?
That's correct.
Demolish the virus, and the water rinses the virus down the drain. Kindly keep in mind, as I mentioned before, that the process takes time. So meaning, don't just do 10 seconds. You have to do at least 30 seconds. Do 30 seconds of water and soap. And really wash your hands very well and rinse it off, okay? You don't have to be obsessed about washing your hands, but obviously normal things to do before you eat, after you eat, when you go to the bathroom, before you use the bathroom, after you use the bathroom, when you're coming from outside, immediately wash your hands. Just like when you go shopping, when you come back in the house, go wash your hands. You don't have to be obsessive about washing your hands if you are in the house with just normal practice, but it's very important for you to wash your hands. So okay, so is that clear what I'm trying to say about the soap? Because I don't want people to be obsessing about washing their hands every 20 minutes. I just want them to know, how will you put it, like I just want them to wash their hands, as I mentioned, just previously mentioned, and that is truly important for them to follow that. Water, soap, 30 seconds of washing your hands.
And every 20 minutes is actually not a bad idea. If you're working, if you have access to a sink, every 20 minutes is not a bad idea. Um, I would say, I always learn is 40 seconds. I have a watch, I time it, I try to do 60 seconds just to be on the safe side. So 20 at the, well, they say 20, you said 30, but at the least you should be doing 30 seconds, at the least. I think at the most you should be doing twice that and doing 60. But sometimes you're in a rush, you might have people online behind you waiting to get to the sink if you're in a public restroom, whatever the case might be. But at least you have to at least wash your hands for 30 seconds. And warm water is important too because cold water sometimes doesn't break down that
The fat.
the fat that's in the
Right.
virus. Yeah,
Right.
so it would have to be warm water.
Right.
That would help.
That's a good point. It's important. My dad told me, as I mentioned, he's a chemist. He was a chemist. He retired. He did chemistry for forever. That's what he loved. He told me the viruses cannot survive, like most viruses cannot survive past 83 degrees. So when you're using warm water or hot water, make sure it's not so hot that it's burning your hand. It's not a necessity for it to be super hot. But the hotter it is, the more likely you are to go ahead and help to break down that fat. But think about um, what happens to if you were to put lotion or shea butter on your hands. I find it particularly difficult to wash my hands with soap and water, and I have a lot of shea butter on my hands, and I'm using cold water. But I find that if I use warm or slightly towards hot water, I could get the fat, the grease from the shea butter off better than if I were to use cold water.
Which is
So,
pointless.
right. So on that note, keep in mind warm water and hot water. Make sure it's not. Obviously, use your common sense that it's not so hot that it's burning you. Rollo said 20 every 20 minutes. I would say that applies if you're at work, Rollo,
Right,
right?
right.
If you are at home, you're already bathing at home once a day. You are washing the dishes and washing your hands after you wash the dishes. You already washing your hands before you sitting down to eat. You obviously washing your hands after you done eating. You're obviously washing your hands when you're using the like before. I wash my hands before I use the bathroom and after I use the bathroom. So if you are at home, you're already doing that. There is no need for you to go 20 minutes. So I just want to specify when Rollo said every 20 minutes, if you want to do that, that's if you are at work and you feel like you're exposing yourself to whatever viruses or bacteria that may be around. And then you definitely want to, if you need to, wash your hands more often. Wear gloves and any protective things that you find you will deem to work well.
And
But
if you drink enough water or as much water as you should be drinking, you probably would be in the restroom at least once every 20 minutes.
I would say once, like every hour or 2 hours.
Yeah,
Yes.
once an hour, twice an hour, somewhere there about.
Okay. Yeah. It that truly depends on the amount of water you drink and the particular person as well. I don't think people should be running to the bathroom every 20 minutes. I think maybe every hour or every 2 hours if they're drinking a lot of water. To me, seem to be more like the thing to do. So people, if you're at home, just do what you're supposed to do. And if you're a kind of person that don't wash their hands when they're home, wash your hands, please. Just please wash your hands. And if you're at work or outside of your house, you will need to wash your hands more often because you're being exposed to things that are not the germs that you're usually exposed to. I know this sounds weird when you are at home. At home, you creating more. You touching your phones. That's your germs. Now, if you go to the ATM, that's everybody else's germs. You get it? I don't know if that makes sense,
It's the
right?
neighborhood's germs.
It's everybody's germs. So that's the difference between outside and your house. Okay, so also, as Rallo mentioned, hot water. And my dad also mentioned to me hot water. He said 83 degrees killed most of the viruses. So he said it's important for you to drink plenty of hot items. Hot water when you get up in the morning. Boil some water to your tolerance. It don't have to be super hot. It could be warm or it could be hot. Obviously, use your common sense. Don't make it too hot where you will burn yourself. It's not a necessity. Okay? So, drink hot water when you get up in the morning, first thing. And throughout the day, drink hot tea, herbal teas, decaffeinated herbal teas. And you could also drink hot coffee and hot soups. Try to keep yourself drinking hydrated with room temperature water and plenty of hot liquids, hot herbal teas, hot coffee, hot water, room temperature water when you're not doing hot items like tea and coffee and soup. Drink room temperature water so that you're properly hydrated, so that if you, whatever it's like in there, because they said it lives in your sinus for a few days. So, what I recommend is that you wash your hands, blow your nose with a clean tissue, because I have to tell my clean tissue, blow your nose, get those boogies out. Then, after you do that, obviously after you blow your nose, you gotta wash your hands again because now you may get some on your hands. So when you get back in the house from outside, from work or from wherever you're going outside, blow your nose when you come back. Wash your hands, blow your nose, wash your hands again. If you have colloidal silver, what I would recommend is that you take colloidal silver in the nano form. If you're interested, you could contact me. We do have colloidal silver. It's a patent colloidal silver that we have been personally using. I've used so many different kinds of colloidal silvers throughout the year, and I am happy with the nano colloidal silver that I have been using since last year. And it's like the benefits is, it has so many different kind of benefits when it comes to viruses and bacteria, and it has multi purposes and multi uses. So you would take the colloidal silver after you wash your hands, blow your nose. You take a clean tissue, and this I heard from a brother. He said he takes a clean tissue and he puts a drop of colloidal silver on one side of the tissue, and he cleans it, the tissue like that. And then he takes another clean side, puts a drop of colloidal silver, and puts it in the nose. So whatever, after you blew your nose, whatever is left in there, the colloidal silver is going to go ahead and take care of that. I'm not saying the colloidal silver is going to kill COVID-19, or that's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying it works towards viruses. Well, viruses is pretty much is the same procedure, so that would help. And obviously, you could gargle with it, and you could also make sure that you take it internally so that you could get your immune system working at its peak. So I'm not going to keep Ralu here. I know that he has things to do. Is there anything else? And I still have a few things that I would like to say because I'm a chatterbox, but that's because I care. I spent half of my life just like doing research to trying to better my life, the life of my family, and the life of anybody that is willing to listen and look up the information too. So, is there anything else that you would like to share?
I would say also search what foods, supplements, nutrients, and so forth actually help to boost the immune system, because the coronavirus is exceptionally hard on people that have compromised immune systems. They seem to go through the worst with the compromised immune system. So I would say do what you can to boost your immunity and boost your immune system. Try to eat alkaline plant-based whole foods. Drink lots of water and consume those warm liquids if you can.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing all the information. We appreciate you. And can you kindly provide us with your website one more?
Website is offthecorner.net. That website again is offthecorner.net.
Thank you so much. Okay, so Rollo has left. I didn't want to keep him since he has things to do, and I still have some information that, in regards to the coronavirus, that is going to assist you in maintaining your health and your happy state of mind. So, but another thing that I forgot to mention is that people probably say, hey, it's soap and water is so good. Like, why doesn't it kill like other diseases and cancer and STDs and things like that? The difference between the coronavirus, COVID-19, and the cancers and STDs and other diseases that you may think of is that COVID-19 at that point when you're washing your hands has not entered your mucous membrane. It has not entered your body. So the virus COVID-19 has not entered your body. You're trying to prevent it from entering your body by washing your hands, by just pretty much taking it apart when you're washing your hands. Now, those other viruses, those other diseases like cancers, STDs, and whatever the other disease you could think of, they're already in your body. So it's an internal. That's the difference. It's an internal thing at that point. So the difference between viruses that have not entered your body and other diseases, they already are in your body, and that's the reason why soap is not, you can't wash away STDs because they're already in your body. You cannot wash away cancer because it's already in your body. Can you wash away COVID-19 and other viruses and bacteria if they have not entered your body and living in the surface of like, or laying on the surface of your like skin or something? Yes, you could wash and completely dismember and deactivate it with soap, water, warm soap, and water, washing your hands for 30 seconds. You could prevent it from entering your body. So, soap and water is not going to work on diseases that are already active in your body. It's going to work to ensure that the viruses and bacteria do not enter your body, do not penetrate your mucous membrane by entering your body through your mucous membranes, your eyes, your nose, your mouth. Okay, so that is the difference. So soap does serve its function and it works. I'm not making it up. You could look it up. I make soaps and I have looked up the information myself, and I like to compare research. So before I put out any information, I need at least 9 credible evidence that this is actually true and how it works. And soap does what they claim it does. It does deactivate the virus of COVID-19 and other viruses and bacteria, as mentioned, as long as you wash your hands with warm or hot water, not too hot, as I mentioned, water, soap, and at least 30 seconds of really washing your hands, okay? And be consistent because it does work. You just want to destroy the virus so it don't enter your body. It's that simple. Okay, so that's the difference, because that's something I thought about myself too. I was like, okay, soap and water, this COVID-19 is killing tons of people. Like, how can soap and water, something soap that I make, deactivate something that is killing people that seem so dangerous? But you have to comprehend on how soap works and what the virus is made of, the protein and fat, and how it's broken apart. So be happy when you're using soap because it's helping you. Okay, people, I keep dropping my notes. Since this video, the main focus is about solutions. Obviously, one solution is to inform yourself of what the virus is and basic information what the virus is, how it works, the patent, and people's intent to generate money and through this virus and all of that, so that you could think about it and do your research. But I want to focus on solution. Let me pick up my notes. I dropped it again. Okay, so we're focusing on solutions in regards to COVID-19, specifically to COVID-19. This could be applied to almost any virus as well. So we already know that stress and a bad diet, lack of sleep, and lack of exercise could reduce your immune system's ability to act at its peak, right? We know that already. So let's focus on some other solutions. Okay, so we have washing our hands, and that's super important. That's great. Now let's focus on our natural medicine. Our natural medicine that works, that does not have all this crazy bad side effects like pharmaceutical drugs, that is biologically, electrically compatible with your bio, with you, with the human body, our plant-based food. And we're going to go through some specific foods that are antiviral, and some specific foods that can actually deactivate the virus as well. So I'll continue with my notes. First on the list that I have is mushrooms. There are particularly 3 types of mushrooms. And I apologize, I have an accent. I speak more than a couple of different languages, and it just kind of pops out of nowhere. So I will spell the first mushroom for you. So 3 different mushrooms. They are antiviral and will assist in the COVID-19, specifically with the COVID-19 that we're speaking of, and any other viruses as well, not just this one. The mushroom that deactivates the protein in the virus, in this particular virus, COVID-19, and any other virus, is Aracon. That's Agorakon. Agorakon. Aracon. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. This is a mushroom that will deactivate the virus. Another one is turkey tail and reishi. We are familiar with reishi. So those are 3 mushrooms. Our arocon that I just spelled for you, turkey tail, and reishi mushrooms. You could eat the mushrooms, wash them very well because they are very abundant in the earth. They become dirty. So make sure that you wash them very well before you use them. So you could consume the mushroom by eating the mushroom directly after you wash it thoroughly, or you could get powder. You could get it in a capsules, you could get a powder, you could eat the mushrooms. It's up to you to be creative, but those particular 3 mushrooms are antiviral and will assist in COVID-19. Even if you don't have it, you still want to boost your immune system by eating foods that are going to allow your immune system to act at its peak, because the immune system is your superhero and your superhero. So your immune system, that is its job to fight for you. Oh, isn't that just so incredible? That is your immune system's job. Its only job. It does it even if it doesn't get mad at you or any mad or sad. It doesn't stop doing it because it's mad at you or doesn't like you that day. It does it for you. It only stops, it only decreases when you do not feed it the right thing. If you do not feed your body the right thing, your immune system is not going to work at its peak. So what you have to do is make sure you feed your body, you fuel your body with the right things so that the immune system could do what it was designed to do, which is to fight on your behalf 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When you are asleep and when you are up, it will fight for you on your behalf. As long as you taking care of it, it will take care of you. But you gotta feed it the right thing. Okay, so we went over the 3 mushrooms that are antiviral. Now let's deal with healing foods or immune system boosting foods. Yay! Don't mind me. Okay, all right. Oh man, if I were to show you like my notes when I do research, I don't laugh. This is sad. This is what my notes look like. It's like a map or something. And I gotta decipher my own writing. Anyway, so that's that. What fun. But let me go to the foods. Where are the foods? Here we go. Number one super duper fruit that I have is berries. The black the berry, like the juice, like the song says, the better it is. So blackberries, number one on the list. That's what elderberries. They are blackberries. Elderberries are blackberries, and they have antioxidants and they're super good for your immune system. So blackberries are useful in protecting our cells because of the antioxidants, free radicals, and they help reduce oxidative stress. So blackberries are useful in protecting our cells because of antioxidants. They help protect us against free radicals, and they help to protect us against oxidative stress. So blackberries, eat some blackberries, organic blackberries. Wash them with vegetable wash them well, or lemon juice, or apple cider vinegar. However you want to wash your fruits and vegetables, wash them well and then consume them. You could also get elderberry syrup. That I really recommend elderberry syrup, along with plant-based vitamin C, non-GMO, organic, preferably food source, instead of the L-ascorbic acid, instead of the ascorbic acid. I don't know if I said it right, but I know exactly what I'm talking about. Another thing is papaya, because papaya has enzymes and anti-inflammatory, and they also have vitamin C. Kiwi have vitamin C, K, E, and folate, potassium, and antioxidants. Dark chocolate, not milk chocolate. Make sure it's the cacao, okay, or cocoa. I don't know if you would call it cocoa, not coconut, but